Welcome back to the 513 podcast. I'm Nick Nickel, aka Bengal Storm. I'm here with Vince, aka Sam Hubbard Enthusiast, and a very special guest, 2018, I believe, yeah, 2018 second round pick, second string tight end for multiple years, the best blocking tight end in the NFL, Drew Sample. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Yeah, yeah. Glad to have you on the show. Let's get this started. All right. So, first question I have for you is we lost CJ Uzomah in the offseason to the Jets, and we get Hayden Hurst in free agency. You've seen him so far in OTAs and tight end university. What have you seen with Hurst, and what do you think he can bring to this offense?
Yeah, he's a great guy. I was lucky enough to meet him last year or 2 years ago now, I guess, at Tight End U. He's an awesome guy. I think he's fit really well in our room, which has been nice. But he brings a lot of experience. He's played on some different teams. He's had some different coaches. He's done a lot of good stuff, and I think for him, I think he just wants to be able to show the type of player that he can be, and so to have another guy like that in the room, I really like our room as it is right now, and I think he's a really athletic guy, catches the ball well, runs really good routes. So it's just been good having him in the room, getting to know him a little better. But yeah, it's been great so far, and I'm excited, to get going here in a couple days.
Yeah, man, because I've seen lots of praise from like James Casey, the tight end coach, Mitch Wilcox. He personally told me a lot of praise for him. So lots of hype building up with him.
Of course. And Drew, I have to ask you, man, what do you think so far through this offseason heading into this year? What do you think is the most improved part of your game on the field?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think just going through the spring, just having such an understanding of the offense now, being in it for, I think this is the fourth year now. So just really not having, obviously knowing the offense, being comfortable in it. So just really working on, kind of the nuances of the tight end position. We're asked to do a lot of different things, whether that's run blocking, pass the details of like certain techniques for versus different, defensive end techniques, things like that. Just really trying to, I guess, dial in on like the details of it because the general stuff is there and it's been there. It's just how can I, continue to make strides, and I think that's you know getting into more of the specifics. I guess is what I've been able to work on with James, and he does a good job of having that available for us, and obviously he plays, so he understands the position. So I think that's kind of just dialing in on the details of things, whether that's routes versus coverages, different techniques in the run game, things like that.
I mean, like obviously you haven't had the receiving numbers as a tight end too, but fans do see you as probably one of the best blockers in the league. So just seeing you improve on that and even improving receiving wise every season, great to see that. All right, so next question I have is, where do you like? This one's like off the blocking stuff. Where do you consider
Mhm.
yourself on the pass blocking, run blocking tight ends? Do you see yourself one of the top players in that position?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that I feel I do really well, and I'm always trying to learn from different guys that I see around the league. Obviously, there's a lot of there's guys in our division. There's Nick Boyle was a great run blocker. Lee Smith came out this offseason and talked to us. My guy from Washington, Will, has been a good blocker. There's a lot of guys out there, and I think just trying to learn, just continue to learn in that area, continue to grow because I do think it's one of my strengths. So not obviously always trying to work on my weaknesses, but just trying to learn as much as I can. Watching like a guy like Mercedes Lewis, who's done it for a lot of years. So I think there's a lot of guys that I look at that are I think are good and that can help me learn and grow. And that's, I think, for me, that's what it's been about these first years, is just looking at ways to improve, and watching film from a lot of guys helps me grow as a player. Even talking to guys down at Titan U, whether that's George or any of these other guys that are down there, everyone likes to talk shop. Everyone likes to try to learn from each other, and so I think that's one of the cool things about the tight end position is we all understand how hard of a job it can be for us. So I think everyone's very open to learning from each other, which is cool.
Yeah, the tight end position has a lot to learn from. It's a very difficult position, one of the most difficult positions to play in the game. And you are a prime example of it, man. You go out there and you block and you get dirty every time, man.
I appreciate that.
Of course, man. But I think one thing a lot of people may want to know from the players and stuff. What player on the team besides yourself would you say are you eyeing the most heading into the training camp here?
Oh, that's a tough question. I mean, I think I'm excited, obviously, about you know Ted, Cap, and LC. I think seeing those guys come in and just on the offensive line, getting the lineup next to LC and seeing just the type of athlete that he's been and seeing him work a little in OTAs. I think that's going to be a lot of fun to have him and Jonah, as our tackles and obviously he comes in having a lot of experience, a good player. I've watched some tape of his, and I mean he likes to get after guys. So just being able to pair up with those guys, I think will be fun to camp. In camp when we get the pads on and get in preseason games and things like that, because I think that's the one player I'll be working with a lot more. That was on the team last year, so I think that's probably someone that I'm excited to see do his thing.
Yeah, I mean, the fans are very hyped for LC, Karis, and Kappa. So, I mean, a double team from you, Collins, would just be the death of any defensive end. But
That's the plan, right?
yeah. All right. So, next question I have is personal one. What was the best play that you think you've had in your career, whether it was a catch, a block, out of any play, college, NFL? What would you say is this was the best play I've ever made in my career?
Oh, best play I've ever made in my career. Um, that's a tough question. I mean, I think they're all a little different. Like, I mean, obviously my first touchdown 2 years ago. I mean, that sticks out to
Yep.
me. It's just amazing. We were, playing the Texans for my guy BA, and we won the game, so that was nice. That helped. So that's probably up there, just like as a memory for me. My first touchdown in the NFL. Um, blocking wise, funny enough, probably comes from that same game. I grew up. I'm a little younger, but JJ Watt was someone I looked up to when I was younger. He's been in the league a long time. As obviously he's one of the best defensive players of all time. So when we played him, I had a couple different reps against him where I was able to do a pretty good job. So that was kind of cool. Just from a nostalgia standpoint of playing against guys that you've looked up to your whole your whole childhood kind of growing up. And then I mean in the Super Bowl being able to block Von Miller was pretty cool on I think T's long touchdown there. That was pretty cool. So there's a couple that stand out to me. Just obviously the touchdown, and then being able to go against guys that you've seen growing up that are these kind of bigger than life figures, and then being able to go in there and at the end of the day they're just another player that you get to go against. So I think those are some that stick out just off the top of my head.
That's
I
awesome,
mean,
man. Yeah,
personally, uh, my favorite play I've seen from you was that one-handed catch you made against the Browns. Was just so
Oh, that's
out
that's
of no-
probably up there too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
that
was
was a
so
phenomenal play.
it was so out of nowhere that you just reached. I thought it was just like a incomplete pass, and you just pulled it in, get a few yards, got got me hyped, and the rest of my family. So
Yeah, that was definitely a hype moment. Um, for my next question, um, is there anything about the white helmets not shown to the
Well,
public you know about? And if
I'm
so,
sorry.
are we allowed to know? Can we get any information like hints or anything? If not, it's fine.
Oh no, yeah, I didn't know nothing about that. That was I'm excited for it, obviously. We've seen all these like little you guys the fan edits and stuff have been cool for the last couple years. They've had the different like alternate helmets, and those are obviously one of them. But I mean I'm in the same spot as you guys. Maybe when we get to camp they'll give us a sneak peek or something, but I'm out of the know on that one.
Who do you think's gonna look the best in them?
Oh, probably one of the skill guys. I'm sure Jamar and T and TB. Those guys will look pretty clean in those white helmets. They'll look fast. So I'm sure one of the receivers will look pretty clean in it, probably, especially with the speed they got. It'll look better on them than the O lineman.
yeah, I
And Nick,
mean, but white helmets. Just think everyone's excited for that. Players, coaches,
Oh
fans.
yeah, for sure.
Hopefully, it's week 4 against the Miami Dolphins. Thursday night football. That's what I
I
think
mean,
most of the fans are hoping for.
yeah, I mean, if we put out there, I mean, some sort of whiteout, like back to the college days. I mean,
Like,
that'd be pretty
like
cool.
Penn
Who
State.
knows? Who knows? Yeah, that'd be
That's
pretty
something a
sweet.
lot of the
So
that's something a lot of fans have been talking about and circulating online is doing a whiteout game for that.
yeah, I mean, that would be pretty awesome Thursday night with the debut of the white helmets. That would be pretty cool for sure.
Also from me, what do you think motivates you this year more than anything?
I think it's just the how last year finished. We had a great season, great postseason, and then we just came up short, and that's tough. Like when you kind of taste that, like AFC champions, obviously, and but just this year knowing that like we didn't finish the job really, we didn't win the Super Bowl. That's obviously the ultimate goal for everyone playing the sport, and so I think everything that we were able to do last year, I think people, myself, and I know a lot of the guys are just kind of dialed up to try to get back there. We understand, we know how hard it's going to be. Everyone's going to be gunning for us. But we're confident in ourselves and our players and the team and the coaches. And so I think that's, for me personally, it's like, hey, I want to get back there and I want to, I want to be on the other end of it this time. I want to hold the trophy. I want to, party it up, live it up. And so I think that just for me personally is, that's the goal. And then to come so close to that last year, just have that, kind of bad taste in our mouth. I think that's something for me that I'm excited about, especially with the team we have. We're bringing back a lot of guys. We added some new pieces. Our coaching staff is intact. And so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, man. I mean, the whole. I think everyone has a mentality with the Super Bowl. I saw a photo from Joe Burrow today of him working with Jordan Palmer. He has the Super Bowl football that he's using, so it just shows how much determination he has and the rest of you guys have.
Yeah, not surprising.
All right,
So,
so
is
yes,
sorry, did you have a question, Nick?
yeah, you can
Go
go
right
though.
ahead, man. Go right ahead.
All right. So next question I have is,
Yep.
what are your thoughts on Trey Flowers, the supposed tight end killer of the NFL last year? That's what Bengals fans like to call him, like shutting down George Kittle and Travis Kelce. What
I
have
love,
you seen from him, and like what are you expecting from him this season?
yeah, I love it. I mean, he obviously came in and played a great role for us last year. And we played the Chiefs twice, obviously against Trav and those guys. I mean, they're amazing players, and he was able to do a great job against them. And I think for him, I think he's excited to kind of excel and flourish in that role and do what he can to help the team win, and that's what he was able to do. And I think what makes him so good is he takes away. He's so big, he's so long. He's got the big frame, but he's so smooth and he's still so fast because he's a DB. So he kind of takes tight ends we're bigger. We're not always the fastest guys. We're bigger and able to, big body guys sometimes. So being able to match that, I think is, what makes him such a difficult matchup. So he's done a great job, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do this year. Because again, we play a lot of those top guys this year. So I'm
Yep.
excited for him.
For sure, man. Trey
Yeah.
Flowers has been a pleasant surprise for many Bengals fans and the organization. And I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with a second year in the system, not joining midway through the year.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
is there any goals for you personally heading into this year that you want to accomplish? Maybe a certain like yardage or any blocks you want to get on some specific edge rushers? Is there anything you have in mind? Maybe.
Not in that aspect. For me, I'm just trying to. I feel like I had a great off season. Obviously, we had the shortened season after last year, but I feel good coming into camp. So I'm just excited to get going. I'm excited to get back into football, and I think for me, just trying to go out there and improve on the things that I want to improve on, and get back into game shape, get back into football, football mode. And the goal for us is to win games. So for me, it's how make sure I'm ready to go win us games, whether that's my route running, my catching, my blocking, making sure I'm on point and ready to go. And like I said, we played a lot of good teams this year, and everyone's gonna be gunning for us. So I think for me, I'm excited for the challenge. I'm excited. We play a lot of primetime games, and playing against good teams. So it'll be fun. Our division's always tough, so there's no easy games, especially in the NFL, and especially after the season we had. So For me, I'm just trying to control what I can control and go out there and help the team win however I can. So I know guys are excited to get back going.
Yeah, I mean, just yeah, I obviously see what you mean with that, the shortened season. I've seen a lot of the work you've put into, like, yeah, I've seen what you've said with the improved off season, and I mean, training camp's starting up, so hopefully football shape comes in soon. But last question I have for you is, with your going to year 4, what has been the best game you've had, like experience wise or game wise? What has been your favorite game of your entire football career?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, it was probably the AFC Championship game. Just going in a hostile territory. For me, my mom's side of the family is all from Kansas City, so I have a bunch of family that lives in Kansas City. My first preseason game ever was in Kansas City, in front of my friends and
Yeah,
family. So that was pretty cool. So to go in there and in the AFC Championship and obviously Arrowhead was rocking. They had Tech 9. They were pulling out all the stops, and to go in there and really it was a battle of a game. It was back and forth. We were able to come out on top for a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and so I mean that was definitely just the best game that I've been a part of probably in my football career, which is pretty cool. And to be able to do it with the team we had last year and the coaches that we have was special. And then for me to be able to play in for my friends and family and in a place that is kind of somewhat sentimental just from where I started and where my family's from and things like that. So I would say that's definitely probably the best I've been a part of.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Obviously,
I
one
mean,
of
I
the
can.
most. Oh,
Sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
Obviously, one of the most. Yeah, obviously one of the most memorable and historic moments in the Bengals history. Not even
So
just recent, just in general. But yeah, obviously a lot of great moments in the past few years. The Steelers game with Ryan Finley, that
oh
was
yeah,
yeah, that was a
that's up there
classic.
too. Yep.
Yep. And nearly any win from last season was pretty big because it was
I mean, yeah,
a
the Raiders
such a
game. I mean, the Raiders game is
yeah,
up there for sure at home. The first playoff win. I mean, it was rock. I mean, it was rocking at night. I mean, that was
yeah,
awesome. So that's definitely up there. You know, the Super Bowl was close. Didn't win that one. Obviously, it was still a crazy experience getting able to play in the Super Bowl, but that one definitely comes down a few ticks after being on the losing end of that. So
yeah. Man,
Speaking
obviously,
of Ryan Finley in the Steelers game, how hype was the locker room after that game?
that was special. Just I don't know if we had a ton of primetime games that year. So I mean, we were in the orange. No one thought we were going to win that game. I mean, we obviously, every game we're going in to win, but just the way it unfolded and kind of the way we played. I mean, everyone was obviously very excited. Zach was hyped. Ryan was hyped. There was some fun plays in there that wouldn't be exactly how you drew it up, but ended up working out. So there was a lot of stuff, and that was obviously something that season. There wasn't a lot of you know not a ton of positives that year, but I mean that was definitely up there for that season.
Absolutely.
that game, that game was like I just remember going on Instagram and seeing like Mixon celebrating the locker room with like Quentin
Yeah,
Spain and Fred Johnson, and
yeah,
it
oh
was
yeah,
probably such a classic. It's up there, top 3, sure, for any game I've seen. But yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah.
So for me, what do you think is the craziest thing you've seen a rookie do off the field? Not on the field, like make an amazing play. I'm saying off the field. What do you think is the craziest thing you've seen a rookie do?
Oh, the craziest thing, probably bring it back to your boy Ryan Finley. I want to say it was our rookie year. We were practicing in February, or not February, sorry, December, and it was like snowing, or it was like crazy cold. And he went out and practiced with just his shorts, no tights, nothing, and no shirt under his jersey for a Friday practice. And he got paid a handsome sum of money from a few of the veterans. So that was probably the craziest thing I've ever seen because it was I was like, I will not be going out there in basically just my jersey and shorts. It was like, 10 degrees or whatever it was. It was crazy, snowing, flurries, whatever. I forget who even ended up who was paying for that, but he got a nice little chunk of change for doing that. So everyone got a kick out of
That's absolutely hilarious. I love that I love that story.
that. So he was like, I'll do it. Like I don't care. And then I it was I'm sure it was. I don't even remember how much money it was, honestly, but he thought it was worth it, and I was like, he probably couldn't pay me enough to do that. Just it was like towards the end of the season, you're starting, it's starting to feel long, whatever. He's like, I'm just gonna do it. So everyone got a good kick out of that.
I mean that just sounds cold.
Yeah, exactly,
I
exactly. You know how cold it gets here in December, so yeah.
yeah. Yeah, well that's all I got. Vince,
Yep,
is
I
there
think
any
that's
more
all I
questions
got
you have?
too. I think that's all I
All
got
right,
too.
well, all right, well, thanks for coming on the show, Drew. Really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Of course, you're great to talk to, man. I'm really hoping you guys do something special this year again. Thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Of course, have a good day.
Yep, you guys too.